You know what it is. Guys, welcome. Ali here, and welcome to what is, for now, the final Bleach Saturday. The finale of Bleach, the Thousand Year Blood War Arc Part 3, Episode 39 and Episode 40. Boy, where do I begin? First off, let's talk about the setup of each of these fights that are gonna go down next part for the final part for the Thousand Year Blood War. The setups, first of all, Gerard, Valkyrie going up against all those lieutenants and captains and stuff. He honestly, he's an absolute scrub in his base form. That's what he is, a complete scrub and everything, and we see it. But obviously, what his abilities are is that like he can turn his wounds into like godlike, powers or godlike size into like his body into into like a godlike size. And seeing it animated and stuff, beautiful. Everybody going in and fighting him. First off, even before that, like, Renji comes back and like it turns out that like Hiyori, Lisa, like Hachi and Love and them were actually the ones that saved Renji, and Hachi saying that like his injury through his chest was so precise and clean that he's going to survive. He's 100% going to survive. And that's what I guess that ring was when, Uryu was aiming at Renji and shot him with the arrow clean through his body. He wasn't trying to kill Renji. Obviously, we all know this and stuff. We got to see him. We got to see Uryu in this episode and everything. The setup for like Gerard fighting all of the Soul Reaper, the lieutenants and captains and stuff. The setup of it is just awesome. Like he comes in just like just blowing like his breath and just wiping everybody, which is just crazy. It's like he's literally a calamity, like, quote unquote, because part 4 is called the Calamity, which I didn't expect that to be named like that at all or anything. But that fight is actually absolutely insane. That fight is gonna be crazy. First of all, fantastic and stuff, and then the setup with Uryu versing Haschval, which I thought that these last 2 episodes were literally going to be Uryu fighting Haschval, because in this episode we're seeing, or these 2 episodes, we're seeing more so of Uryu fighting Ichigo again, or something like that, and then like Uryu saying to like take this key, the sun key, it's to the gate of the sun that leads to the world of the living, because it turns out Yuak and the Quincy's and stuff were going to invade the world of the living and stuff, and just seeing more of the backstory, like with in the past of like episode 38 friend, which I didn't get to do last week. You're seeing what kind of person Yuak is. He's evil. He's an evil piece of shit. He literally does not care about anybody else except sustaining himself, his own power. That's all that he cares about. Literally all that he cares about. And you're seeing that not only in episode 38, but what happens in episode 39 when we got to see a little bit more backstory and stuff. But I thought, just going back to like fights and stuff, I genuinely thought that Uryu and Haschval was going to be a full-on, like, these 2 episodes was going to be, like, their full fight. But it actually ended up just being, like, hype and anticipation for them both fighting each other. And I didn't think that was going to happen. I literally thought it was going to be an actual fight, like, happening. But we didn't get to see that. We got to see more of like Ichigo fighting round 2 with Uryu, which was awesome. Like he uses a Getsuga Tensho to like hit the ground to kind of like blind Uryu a little bit or something, and then he uses Getsuga Tensho again, and then like just fighting Uryu and stuff, and then he grabs Uryu's like collar, and then like Uryu talking about how like the living Quincy's have a responsibility to stop Yuak in what he's doing and put an end to him. and stuff, and you're seeing that a little bit more of like the flashback and the continuation of like what Uryu was reading in his grandfather's journal. He was reading that stuff. So like it was cool to see that we got a little bit more context of what Uryu was reading in that journal, and what his grandfather wrote about, and that like in that it was literally because like Yuak, he is like, he's a tyrant. He doesn't care about the Quincy's in the way that Uryu, not what Uryu would think, but like in the way that some people think. He cares about him in the way of nourishment, of sustenance. That's literally what it is. And hearing his grandfather actually saying this, like, I want to confirm this now, like that, like over all of these years, and just seeing more context of that journal was fantastic, and I loved it, and like it was great, and seeing the whole thing with like the fight just about to happen with Uryu and Hoshfall, but it doesn't happen because it's happening next part. Like him talking to Hoshfall, like because Hoshfall has like the Almighty, because Yuak is sleeping, which also some absolutely hilarious to me. I thought was just absolutely funny was that Lily Tato and Giselle and the zombie and like Bambi and Candace and them completely get clapped, completely decimated from a Yuak that is sleeping. That is, I'm sorry, but that is some of the funniest shit. It made me crack up laughing. Oh my gosh, and the way that they transition from like everything, like with Yuak in his throne room with Lily Tato and Giselle, literally transitions to the outside of the castle, down where the streets are or whatever, and then flips perfectly into the ending song, the theme. And that's why they did, and that's one of the reasons why they reversed the ending for a couple of episodes. Parrot Films, you're absolutely peak. Directing, the direction, the director, the animation director, the crew entirely. You guys are absolutely peak. And I loved it and everything. So their whole debacle of what, like, you know, Hoshful and Udu's are about to clash and everything, and him saying that like get to Yuak while he's sleeping with Orihime and with Chad and stuff, and we're getting a little bit more here and there of of Chad actually, like, you know, fighting a little bit, which is very cool to see. So that anticipation setup for that fight is great. The next anticipation setup fight, obviously, I talked about Gerard already, was great and stuff, and I loved it how like he just gets clapped by like Renji and Byakuya just like straight up just pounding, like killing him, making sure he can't talk, can't speak, get killed and whatnot. But that doesn't matter because, you know, obviously Gerard, which is confirmed in the anime in this arc, that Gerard has the heart of the Soul King. Like, which is also like funny to me that Askin, like in the middle of these episodes and stuff, literally explains like these two characters, Pernita and Gerard. I thought it was kind of funny, but also that like I think it was confirmed in the light novels that Gerard had the heart of the Soul King, or is the heart of the Soul King, and we didn't, and it was confirmed in the light novel, I believe, but it was never confirmed in the manga. So seeing it full confirmation of like it actually being like in the anime and actually being confirmed that he is the heart, or was the heart of the Soul King, was really cool, and it was very interesting to hear Askin like talking about this stuff, which was great. So that was really cool to like hear Askin talking like a little bit more information and stuff. Great stuff. Fight with Uryu and Ichigo was great. Beautiful and cinematic, beautiful animation stuff. And then the whole thing with Gerard was like awesome and everything. Now let's get into what probably was the highlight of the entirety of these two episodes. One of the biggest highlights was the thunder goddess herself, Yoruichi Shihoin, Shunko RAIJIN SENKEI. Oh my. When she unleashed that shit on Askin, like oh my gosh, the shock, like the way that she did it, like the impact frames of her like making those lightning orbs of her Shunko, like the Reishi, and then she uses the RAIJIN Senkei. That was absolutely nuts. Seeing that animated, and when she releases Shunko, an absolutely beautiful golden look to it. And then like just the transition, which kind of reminded me of like a magical girl transformation, is that when she releases Shunko, that nice little, that cute little orange dress that she was wearing just disintegrates, and she's wearing the outfit, like the fit, bro, the leotard fit and the boots and shit, and my bro, she looked so fine in this episode, especially when she went to save like Orihime and Ichigo and them. And then also, obviously, also that I didn't even talk about, Orihime coming in clutch, blocking debris in this in these episodes and stuff, and then also healing up Chad, Ichigo, and her in like literally like 5 seconds. Yeah, that, bro, like she's absolutely peak, absolutely. But seeing Yoruichi going in on Askin, which is one of my favorite parts, was Askin taking the bow and arrow, and just their dialogue too, which they also changed, which was interesting. That like when Yoruichi was right behind Askin, saying that like, oh, why don't why don't you just like make it easier for yourself and just like strangle your enemy to death and stuff, and him saying that's like cringy and whatnot, and her flipping away. In the manga, she says that like you got like a case of like diarrhea of the mouth, which like just like talking bullshit and like constantly talking and stuff. She says like the diarrhea of the mouth in the manga, but they changed it a little bit in the anime, which I mean that's nothing that's like super serious or anything. It's not detrimental or whatnot. I kind of liked it in this one, but like when she like flips. When he tries to kick her behind him and stuff, and she so good, her transformation, and then her talking about like, oh, like you're talking about this girl Bambi, she must be beautiful. If I guess beautiful girls talk like that, right? Like correct and stuff. But I love Yoruichi's accent, even in the way that she talks. Like even when like like her brother Yushiro comes in, and like how naive he is to sarcasm, and she doesn't she keeps forgetting that he's like that and whatnot, and her complimenting him on his Shunko, like how much he's mastered it in such a short time, and he's crying and stuff, like saying thank you so much to his big sister. It's just so cute. It's just a cute sibling thing. And then her being like pissed off, like, oh, you think I needed help? You come help me and shit. I love the dialogue. I love everything about it. I believe that was the final episode and stuff. Oh, that fight is gonna be, it's gonna be nuts, because there's a couple other characters that are gonna pop up for that with that shit, bro. But man, is it gonna be so good. It's so good. But then also you're seeing a lot of like ripples in the soul, in every single realm, Soul Society, Wakamundo, World of Living stuff. You're seeing all this stuff like that. And then you get to like so that kind of like ends like the setup for Askin fighting like Yoruichi and stuff, and like seeing that like he took in which is not a good thing. He took in so much of their Shunko, of their like spiritual energy, to the point where he almost died. If he takes, obviously we know for his powers, if he takes in enough of a certain thing, like say blood, when that happened with Squad Zero, takes in enough like obviously in this episode, like enough spiritual energy and stuff, he ends up making himself like immune to it, and he can like dial up, not only make himself immune to that spiritual energy, but also dial up the lethal dose of it. So her brother gets stabbed with arrows from Askin, and Yoruichi gets him out of there, gets her little brother out of there and stuff, and that's how, not how it ends, but like the setup of what's gonna happen and what's gonna go on, absolute peak and everything. And like, again, Yoruichi stole that episode, looking so fine, so clean, animation, the way she fought, like even just not even using her SHUNKO, but when like, you know, Askin caught up to her, she like, you know, she uses like, you know, close combat and stuff, and then grabs and then uses her legs to grab him by the head and throw him away and stuff, was absolutely nuts. And not even that, when she goes in the beginning and he shoots his arrows, she grabs one of them and spins and throws it right at him, and just like everything, the building just fucking explodes. Oh man, apologies that I'm coughing and stuff like that, but like peak choreography, peak transitions and everything for both of these episodes, because we did get in these episodes was all of these transitions of like, you know, anticipation and setup for like 3 fights, which again, I thought Uryu and Jugram and Hashful, I thought that fight was going to be these 2 episodes, but it literally wasn't. It was also a setup. Askin versus Yoruichi and maybe 1 or 2 other people is a setup. Gerard Valkyrie versus all of those lieutenants and captains, another setup. And then like obviously, you know, Ichigo and Orihime and Chad going up to where, like, trying to get to the Soul King, another setup. There's like there was just a bunch of setups, but it wasn't boring at all. And it's like, obviously it's not boring and stuff. It was beautifully done. Like the directing was beautifully done. How it bounced back and forth to all of these things, which was absolutely awesome, beautiful, and it was fantastic. I loved every single second, minute of it, period. It was so good, right? So that was the other fight that I was wanting to talk about and stuff. Now, let's get into the things that I believe were anime only in this episode, I believe. The visors, bro. The visors are gonna, bro. The visors are first gonna go in against Gerard. Just to see them all stand there together, bro. Like with Hiyori and all them. Hiyori and even Shinji, which I thought that like he wasn't gonna I thought they fixed like his visor thing, so he didn't have like a visor or whatnot. But also like seeing obviously Rose and Kensei, they also have their visor masks and shit. But we're gonna get some visored gameplay, bro, in this fight against Gerard. It's gonna be so good when Gerard's going in and like finding stuff. I'm so ready for that. That's one thing that was anime only I didn't see coming. I thought was fucking awesome. Another one, Momo and Shinji going in together, Captain Lieutenant style, like her using her Hime. Is it Toby Hime or something like that, which is her Zanpakuto's name or something. But her going in along with Shinji against Gerard, I didn't expect to see that happening, but we got to see it. We're seeing so much more. Excuse me, sorry, but I'm getting a dry mouth. But we're seeing so much more of like just characters like Momo, and then in these episodes we see Rangiku with what's his name, Hanataro, I believe, or whatever. They're like running around together, doing something. I don't know what they're doing, but like I don't know what's going on there. So we're seeing that stuff, but like just to see like a really cool ability that Momo uses. She uses like some sort of, it looks like it's some sort of like organic looking trampoline looking ass thing, and then she uses her Zanpakuto and like lights it up or whatever, and it blows up and whatnot. And then you see Shinji using Hado number 91 like on Gerard's face, which is like it looks like just like balls of like fire or some shit like that, or balls of light that were just exploding in Gerard's face. Fucking awesome. Like, I didn't expect none of that shit. That shit was amazing. It was so good. And then we got a little bit of Isshin and Ryuken, Uryu and Ichigo's fathers, seeing them, I believe, at the ending of episode 38, when they're at the graveyard of just all these crosses. And obviously those are Quincy crosses and stuff. Isshin's like, I thought I'd find you here. He's like, you ready to go? Let's go. And then he uses like a silver gate, sun gate, like coin or whatever, that is still active even after all these decades, like later, from his grandfather, from Ryuken's father, who's Uryu's grandfather. Seeing that shit was fun, like, was awesome to see. And they're in the fray now, like going in and stuff. These boys and these dudes and their wives taken out by this dude just because he needed energy and whatnot. Bro, like, and then Ryuken talking about like his father saying that, like, for once in my life, I'm actually thankful that he has like sticky hands or some shit like that, which I thought was kind of funny. And Isshin's like, you know the reason why your son treats you the way he does is because you treat your father the way he does, like, which I thought was funny. But then we see, like, seeing that. And then seeing, like, the world of the living, like, shaking and rupturing, and Hueco Mundo rupturing and shit like that. And then you see, like, Yuzu and Karin, which we haven't seen in so long. I loved seeing that. Like, it was adorable. Like, it was great stuff. And they're wondering, like, why the earthquake isn't stopping and stuff. It's because this shit, everything's going to be destroyed right now. But the anticipation of this stuff is great, and I'm hyped and I'm excited about it. So we got like all that stuff with, like, just quick stuff with Ryuken, Isshin, and like Yuzu Karin. We got all these things going on. Everybody's anticipating like these fights and stuff. The setup for these fights is going crazy. Then we got, obviously, all those graves of those Quincy's that they're literally all from Hyuak himself, which is crazy. Like, he's the literal reason. Excuse me, sorry. Hyuak himself is literally the reason for the Quincy's tragedy, the tragedy of the Quincy's, that he keeps talking out of his ass about. That, like, he keeps saying these things that, like, it's for, like, himself to think. Like, he doesn't care about his people. He doesn't care about literally anything. His people don't actually even really care about him either. It's like, you're an evil, like, POS, man. Like, he is an evil tyrant, just like what Uryu's grandfather has stated in that journal. So we go to the journal of what Uryu was reading. We got to read more. Not just, like, there's a little bit more detail than just what we found out in, I believe, part one of, like, part one of the Thousand Year Blood War, when Uryu was reading that journal. Or was it part two? I don't think it was part two. I don't think so. But, like, of him reading that, like, there was actually a war 200 years ago instead, and not just 1,000 years ago and stuff. And Hyuak himself has literally caused the tragedy of the Quincy's, to where now the Soul Reapers, because you decided to try and invade Soul Society and stuff and destroy everything, now we are going to have to take you all out. Like, he's literally the cause. And that is the reason why he can't forgive the Soul Reapers for like doing what they did to the Quincy and stuff, because he doesn't have sustenance to keep himself, like, alive. It took him 1,000 years to get back to what he was, and then using, like, the Ashvolin to take out all these Quincy and stuff. And then we also got to see a moment where actually Uryu was about to die as a kid, and Uryu's mother, Katagiri, is holding him. So it's like, did she, like, try to give him her powers to help him survive, and then she died in that moment? And then Ryuken ended up going to dissect his wife, which is kind of messed up, but, like, to get, like, a certain thing from when a Quincy dies, a certain thing that comes from their body that he takes and uses it for something later. I'm not going to mention what it is because it gets explained later. But like that whole sequence was sad, and then also just seeing that quick flashback of Uryu and Ichigo up on the rooftop just chilling, and and us knowing that they're like cousins, like family. It just looked really cool, or just nice to see them just sit there and like Ichigo being like asking like why didn't you want to be a doctor and stuff. Usually like your father's a doctor. Usually the kid ends up wanting to be a doctor and everything, and then he does, and then Uryu doesn't say anything, and Ichigo just goes like, "Yo, if you don't want to say nothing, it's fine and whatnot." Because like he had like the flashback of looking at his own father dissecting Katagiri, or like opening her up and stuff, and doing whatever he needed to do. Seeing that made him not want to be a doctor, which is so interesting. And then like him, and then Uryu talking about to Ichigo, like just the conversation was just really cool. Just seeing it, that like Uryu being like, "Boy, isn't your father a doctor and stuff?" He's like, "Yeah, but he's just he's just the dude with the beard," which I thought was really funny. But just seeing that was great. So the end of the episode, Askin comes in for like what is it, a Quincy? It's technically a Quincy's version of the Shinigami guidebook, and you see Askin talking about like the original actual royal guards. They got immediately clapped by Soul Society and stuff, and seeing them and whatnot. So that was like really. I personally don't mind those. Like people get triggered by them for some reason. I don't know why, but like seeing that was like really cool. And the ending of the episode was like, we're just hyped to see like all the stuff that's going to transpire next season. Like all the fights, all the new stuff, like the Visors going in on Gerard. Again, ain't nobody complaining about that shit. I'm just ready for it, and I hope we get to end up seeing a little bit more of like Nellie doing her thing, maybe some other characters doing their thing, maybe like Shuhei, maybe Hisagi, because he has a Bankai. It's been said in this anime, in this arc, he has a Bankai. All these things happening, like the setups for all these fights, fantastic. The startup of all these fights, fantastic and everything. And then seeing Hashful looking at Uryu, and Uryu saying that like the surprised look on your face that you got when in this moment of like my face full of hope means that you can't really fully see the future, can you, and stuff. And then like you see Hashful looking like he's mad in that moment. Yo, that's gonna be so good. Again, like Yoruichi going in, she was the highlight, 100% on Askin, going in on him. Ichigo and Orihime and them going up to get to the Yuok and everything. Very hyped and excited about this. Everything is going on. I'm ready for it. The whole fight with Gerard. There's gonna be so many people fighting Gerard. It's gonna be absolutely amazing. And then also one thing that we got to see. Kira is back with like those stitches from that giant hole he got through, or whatever, those giant metal poles or whatever they're in his body, taking out the rest of Lily Barrow and his and his little chickens running around and stuff, which is very interesting because those chickens, what I found out is that like if you break the halo that was on Lily Barrow's like head, he actually loses like 99% of his power. So it's just these chickens like using like explosives and shit like that. And Kira's just like, just slices one in half, blows him up. And then him saying like those chickens be like, "Who are you?" And he's like, "A dead man." Absolutely pig. Him in front of the moon and everything. Oh my gosh. It's absolutely amazing. And just seeing that was so good. And then seeing like those, the ending theme being played regularly again, which was really cool, and seeing Ichigo and Uryu smiling in that ending, bro. They're both smiling. They're not just mad or upset or something. They're actually smiling with each other. to do their own thing and everything. Absolutely peak. Now let's get into the special ending and the special opening for the for this for part 3 and stuff. They did a special ending and opening for those theme songs, like seeing more of like these scenes from part 3 in the opening theme instead of what the opening theme sequence actually is and stuff, what it always was throughout the part 3. Fantastic. And then the ending theme, we got more of our squad and everything coming in for the special ending. Like you got, I saw Hitsugai in there. You got everybody. You got like Moma in there. You got a bunch of other characters in there and stuff. It was cool to see that they added characters in the ending, sequence with everybody. It was really cool to see that. It's like on Viz Media, on YouTube, obviously Instagram, whatnot. Like it's everywhere where Viz Media is, and it looked so awesome. And I'm so hyped about it and everything. The episode was the finale was phenomenal. Everything you would, again, like they didn't have like the full on start to finish fights at all. I didn't expect that specifically. I thought we were gonna have a beginning and an end for Uryu and Haschwaldt's fight in these 2 episodes, but we didn't get that. It's perfectly fine. You got Ichigo coming in, with Uryu, seeing him, and he's like, Uryu, like you could have just told us and everything about what you were doing, saying that like he's gonna destroy the Gate of the Sun and everything, but then Haschwaldt already destroyed it, and like them having like a kind of like a quarrel, but also like fighting each other, which the fight was really awesome, seeing that and everything, and then like him still trying to play the double agent a little bit, and then all of a sudden when he found out that the gate was destroyed, and then knowing that Yuak is sleeping, like he's like, all right, I'm done being the double agent. Ichigo, go get to him, take him out. I'll handle Haschwaldt right here. You don't gotta worry about me. I ain't gonna die here. Like, it's good to have you back, Uryu, finally back with the squad, not having to be a double agent anymore. It was amazing, and I'm hyped for part 4. It's gonna be so good. I'm so hyped and I'm so ready for it. But what did you guys think about this finale? I thought it was phenomenal. It was amazing, especially everything with Yoruichi, Askin, and then Yoruichi's brother Yushiro, and how adorable he is, and how like Yoruichi praises him a little bit, and it's just the coolest thing. Seeing that, and then the hypeness of the visors coming in, like actually finally doing something, because they literally barely did anything whatsoever in the manga. So seeing in the anime, they're coming in and they're gonna be fighting Gerard and everything. Oh, it's everybody's gonna be fighting Gerard and stuff, but that was amazing. And then the anticipation of Uryu fighting Haschwaldt is gonna be phenomenal also, and just seeing Ishin and Ryukin coming in, like into the Soul Society in where Warwelt is, and I'm just hyped for that too, because both of their wives were taken out by this piece of shit that is Yuak and stuff. So they are getting their get back for the loves of their lives, bro. For the love of their lives, man. Getting that get back, being a good person, and then hearing a little bit more of his grandfather with the journal and stuff. And then turning and having it turn out to be like, no, Yuak is not the savior of the Quincy's or anything. He's literally the tyrant of the Quincy's, basically, and like he needs to be taken out, and it's the responsibility of of the living Quincy's in the world of the living to do it, and that's why Uryu feels this responsibility of doing this and doesn't want like Ichigo to like have this stuff happen, like doesn't want Ichigo to be involved with it, but like he's gonna be involved anyways, and Uryu knows this. And bro, it's so good. I'm so ready for part 4 already. And then we got that like little promotional video tease of part 4 with that beautiful artwork that Kubo made like a while back, like several months ago, of like, Ichigo standing there like holding his blade like that. It's like the way he colored that look that Ichigo had was absolutely amazing, but they used it for this promotional tease of part 4, and part 4 is called The Calamity. And then we see like the transition of one of Ichigo's blades turning white. Please let that transition, the way it was animated or whatever, please let it happen in the anime. Like, don't change that specifically. Amazing. And then seeing like the sword and then seeing it broken. Like, that's gonna be crazy. And then also, something I almost completely forgot was Yukio, I believe Yukio, right? And Riruka going to Kukakushiba's dojo. They're going to meet Ginjo and Tsukishima, bro. That's going to be kind of emotional, and it's going to be epic at the same time. The Fullbringer is going to have more importance. Not just like them traveling to get Ichigo and the gang up there and whatnot, but there's going to be a lot more importance with all of the Fullbringers and everything. And I'm gassed for it. Oh my god. And Part 4 is going to be, I believe it is said, at Jump Festa that happened last week, I believe. Or this weekend, I believe, or something. Jump Fest in Japan. I believe Kubo specifically has stated that Part 4 is going to be 80% new content. Anime only stuff. So 80% of the stuff in Part 4 is stuff that was not in the manga. So it's going to be added on stuff, extended stuff, probably more information on things and whatnot, because he's been picking a little bit of stuff from Can't Fear Your Own World, the light novels, picking stuff here and there and putting it in like the anime. And I'm here for it. And it's 80% new content. That's crazy. Well, 100%, we're definitely going to get some sort of fight with like Ryuken and Isshin fighting somebody or something. 100%. Like, we have to. Pfizer's going to be going in and stuff. Fullbringers are probably going to be doing their own thing. All on top of all of these fights that we're going to be getting. Askin Yoruichi, Gerard, and all these lieutenants and captains and stuff, and then Uryu versus Hashful, like, and then Ichigo and Orihime versus the Yuhawk and stuff. I don't know how we're gonna get 13 episodes. We might end up getting 14, just like this arc, or just like this part had. I don't know, or maybe a 3-episode finale or some shit. I don't know, but it's gonna be absolutely peak. It's going to be even more peak than Part 3, because each part, to me, is better and better. Part 1 was, and Part 1 was already peak. Part 1 peak, Part 2 phenomenal, Part 3 cinematic. And then you got, like, Aizen just sitting there in the chair, and he's like, my gosh, what are they doing? With all those, like, chickens falling, like lily balls, like, falling and stuff with all the chickens. I thought that shit was funny. But anyways, that is it. I think I covered everything that I wanted to talk about. I think. So, without further ado, that's it. What do you guys think about this? The finale for Part 3? Part 3 in general? It's the best part, period, of the 1,000-Year Blood War so far. Part 4 is going to be fucking stupid nuts. It's going to be amazing. But leave down in the comments your thoughts. Like this video if you did. Like the video if you like anything I had to say. The finale and whatnot. Part 3 in general. Leave a like and comment down below and stuff. And subscribe to the channel for more reviews, vlogs, unboxings, live reactions, and discussion videos, and things like that. So, gentlemen, stay classy, ladies, stay sassy, but most importantly, everybody, you guys stay a little nasty, right? So, peace and love, and I'll see y'all later in the next video. Peace out, may the force be with you always. La Tomban Kai, his true Shikai, baby. His true Bankai. Horn of Salvation, too. That's all I'm going to say. Let's get ready for Part 4, baby. I don't care how long it takes. PERRIOT Films, take your time animating this to the best it can be. Just take your time. It's fine. It doesn't matter how far off it is. Doesn't matter. Take your time with it and make it absolutely cinematic peakness like Part 3 or better than Part 3 was. All right? Just do it, please. Oh, gosh. Peace out and see you guys later.